let's make something delicious. Now for this is a 1 bowl banana bread, so everything dumps into 1 bowl. So in this bowl, we have 3 bananas that are overripe. You want the ones that are starting to get very mushy and have the brown spots on them, or even farther than that. And then we have 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. Now we are going to take a potato masher and just start mashing all of that together. The reason I am putting my sugar in with my bananas while I am mashing is because the sugar actually works as an abrasive to help those bananas mash easier. You will find that they mash much quicker than if you try to mash them without the sugar. Because see, those are already breaking down with just a few pushes, because when you think about sugar, it is granular and it's kind of coarse. When you rub it between your fingers, it's very coarse. So it has little sharp points. Even though you can't see it, it has little sharp points. So those little sharp points are cutting into the banana as you're pushing it against it, which is causing the banana to break down quicker. Now, I don't know how you guys like your banana bread, but I like mine with a few little chunks of banana. So I tend to leave some chunks. I don't tend to want the banana pureed. If you want it pureed, keep on mashing until there's no chunks. But I tend to love those little banana chunks. So I'm going to stop right there. So to this, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of a neutral flavored oil. You can use whatever is your choice. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of, I'm using whole milk buttermilk. You can use the buttermilk substitute that people teach you how to do with milk and lemon juice. It's not really that good of a buttermilk substitute because nothing substitutes for true buttermilk. We are also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. If you guys have watched me for long, you guys know I don't measure vanilla. There's no sense in measuring vanilla because too much just makes it bitter. So that's about 2 teaspoons, which actually for me is probably closer to 3. But if you're not a vanilla freak, get out a measuring spoon and measure. So now we are going to add 2 large eggs. And these are beautiful eggs from here on our homestead. That's why they're blue and green. Because we have chickens that lay all color eggs. So now you want to break those yolks really good. I'm using a silicone spatula to do this because it scrapes down the sides of your bowl really well. Now, it's going to take just a couple of minutes to get that worked in because as you can see, that oil wants to stay separated from everything else that's in the bottom. So it's going to take just a minute to get that to work in because oil doesn't like the other ingredients in here. So you gotta kind of zhuzh them around and make them happy and make them get along. Stop their feuding. They don't need to be feuding no more. And as you can see, it just took a couple of minutes and everything is all combined. And this world is living in harmony now. Not this world, but this world. Okay, the only reason I have this measured out on a piece of wax paper is for videoing purposes only. This is a 1 bowl banana bread. You dump all these ingredients into there. Just off the bat, you dump everything in there. I have this pre-measured for videoing purposes. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Now, baking soda will create a chemical reaction with your buttermilk because baking soda will create a chemical reaction with anything acid, and buttermilk is acid, and give it a nice lift. It will help it rise really well. So now you just want to take your time, work this in, but do not overwork it. This is a quick bread. So quick bread means you work it out in quick. If you work it too hard, you work that gluten in your flour. And you don't want that in a quick bread. You want that in a nice chewy loaf of bread. You don't want that in your banana bread, because your banana bread will get tougher and tougher. The longer you work it, the tougher that gluten is going to get, and the more tough your banana bread is going to get. Because if you are the type that thinks everything has to look smooth, don't think that with this. Erase that way of thinking. The only reason I'm still working a little is because I'm still seeing dry pockets of flour. Because you want to bring up from the bottom, make sure there's no dry pockets. Bring it up from the bottom one more time. And see, now I'm walking away. And see, it's not going to be perfectly smooth. It's going to have lumps. It's going to have big lumps and little lumps. It's perfectly fine. Okay, here we have a standard size loaf pan. And I have it lined with parchment paper, and I have it sprayed with cooking spray. I use coconut oil spray. I prefer that. For one reason why I like coconut oil spray is because it solidifies quicker in the bottom of the pan, so it's not all running down. Now I'm going to pour my batter into my pan. Now you want to spread it out nice and even. And we have our oven preheated to 375 degrees. Now we are going to pop this into the oven, but I will show it to you when it comes out of the oven and let you know exactly how long it baked. This beautiful loaf of banana bread is now out of the oven. It baked for exactly 1 hour. Now about halfway through the bake time, I took it off the low rack and put it on higher rack. That way it would slow down the browning on the bottom. Now if you think it's browning too much, because that depends on your oven and the calibration of your oven. If you feel like it's browning too quickly, then lower the temperature to 350. Because not all ovens are calibrated the same way. Now the reason I told you to put parchment paper in there is so that it works as a sling, so that you can get it out very quickly, because you don't want it browning anymore and carry over cook. See, I can lift it straight out of the pan that way. Now see, we have our beautiful loaf of banana bread. And now you want to let it cool some. Now, we around here tend to eat it warm because it's very delicious warm with some butter on it, or just by itself. To know that it's done, you can test it in the very center with a toothpick. But contrary to what everybody tells you, you do not want, when you test something with a toothpick, you do not want it to come out clean, because there is carryover cook where it will continue to cook from the heat inside of it. If the toothpick comes out clean and carryover cook sets in, it could become dry. So when you poke a toothpick in the middle, you want it to come out with moist crumbs. Not wet batter, moist crumbs. Then when carryover cook sets in, it will bake to perfection by carryover cook. So come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.
Now to say Chick-fil-A, it's my pleasure to take a bite out of this beautiful banana bread. So good. You truly don't have to have butter on it. Well, butter's delicious, but this is amazing, just the way it is. Such a perfect flavor. It's just the way she did it makes it so amazing, so flavorful, and so moist, and just incredible. Most incredible banana bread you've ever eaten. And I've got to tell you something right now, Angela K is a heck of a cook.